As its title suggests, this project focuses on emotion in Miguel de Cervantes' famous novel Don Quixote, more specifically the emotion of fear. Fear is one of the most prevalent emotions in the book. When you first read it, it seems like Don Quixote is always courageous and his squire Sancho Panza is always cowardly. Don Quixote certainly claims that he isn't afraid of anything. However, when you look closer at what was considered bravery and cowardice during the time period, this is far from true. The purpose of the project is to investigate how courage was interpreted in the Code of Chivalry and to use the investigation to analyze the characters in the novel. By looking at the characters and the way that Cervantes chooses to portray them, in addition to looking at the facts about Cervantes' life and experiences, we can learn what he wanted to tell his readers about fear. Cervantes was a military man and spent at least 5 years in active service to the Spanish Navy, in addition to spending 5 years in captivity. He was intimately acquainted with the life of a soldier and almost certainly had opinions on chivalry and courage. The research that we have done has led us to believe that Cervantes was attempting to portray the idea that fear is a natural part of human emotion and behavior, and to expect anyone, even a knight, to always be fearless is unreasonable and sometimes creates dangerous situations. This project has taken a couple twists and turns during its development. It started originally with just the idea to investigate emotions in Don Quixote, which there wasn't much research on previously. We started out by reading Don Quixote and marking every single spot in the book where any emotion was shown. We read a lot of background literature, both on Don Quixote and on emotions in general, what they mean, what causes them, how people express them, etc. In talking about it, we decided to investigate fear more closely for a couple reasons. One, it's one of the more prevalent emotions in the book. Two, it can be tied in some cases to insanity. And three, there's a clear dichotomy between Don Quixote and Sancho Panza. Once we had decided that, we focused our research on expectations of fear and courage in the Middle Ages and Renaissance. Early sources from knights and courtiers proved invaluable, although they were a little bit difficult to find and read, and an unfortunate number of them have never been translated from medieval French, which is a bit of a problem. After we had gathered the basic information, we started creating and fleshing out the outline for our paper. Each part was written individually and then fit together to make the full paper that we ended up with. Out of all the things that I learned doing this research, I was most surprised by the emphasis that a lot of medieval scholars put on the fact that knights should not be reckless. I was expecting to find a lot about the fact that they should never flee from battle, but a lot of authors said that knights should be punished just as much for acting recklessly as for being cowardly, even if the recklessness paid off. They go as far as to say that recklessness is false courage, and some claim that those who act recklessly are merely trying to imitate knights with true courage. This discovery is what really kicked off the idea that Don Quixote does not embody the idea of chivalric courage nearly as much as one might think, despite his claims to the contrary.